Welcome back to History in Motion, proudly brought to you by Midas. Back at Zwartkops, and now we are moving on to one of the largest categories in the Midas Historic Tour, the Sabat Lotus Challenge. The Lotus Challenge is home to some of the largest battles on the tour, and where even small budget drivers get to have a load of fun. Let's hear from Marcus Minihold.
I used to race in the Porsche series, a 911 Porsche, and it's been a while since I raced, but glad to be back. Well, Neil McLeod gave me the opportunity to race his car the weekend, so I jumped at it. It's my first ever standing start, so we'll see how it goes.
After an eventful qualifying, it's Midas Historic starting in pole position in his Class A Lotus. He is followed by Jeff Gable in his Class B car, and then it's Rob Gearing. Etienne Stradom and Marcus Minihold for the fourth row, with Anton Goose and Sean Hewitt rounding out the top 12. It looks like Midas Historic, even before the race has even started, is having issues with his car. But it didn't take long for him to rejoin the grid for the start of the race. The lights go out, and Midas Historic has a slow start, which gives Jeff Gable a chance to take the lead. Glenton Rebello, also getting away well, moves into second from fourth on the grid. Rob Gearing lying in third as they head towards turn 2. On board with Marcus Minihold, and we have a great view of the bright yellow car of John Glover as he charges after the lead pack. But oh no, Jonathan Clamp spins off into the dirt, and this lets the whole grid pass him on the first lap. As the cars come out of turn 3, it's Glenton Rebello leading the group, with Midas Historic passing Gable for second. But Gable fights back in his Class B car by keeping his foot firmly flat as he tries to maintain any form of momentum over Midas Historic. On board with Gable, and we see the power of the Class A Lotus over a Class B as Midas Historic sails by. Gable looks to have a go on the inside of Historic into turn 5 and makes it stick. Rob Gearing tries to stay in fourth, but he knows that James Forbes is right behind, trying to pressure him into making a mistake. Historic moves down the inside of Gable, heading for turn 8, and takes second place. Neville Reed is coming under pressure from Anton Goose as he goes down the inside of him into turn 5. Marcus Minihold looking to join in the fun as he tries to drive round the outside of Goose. Breaking into turn 2, it's Minihold on the inside of Goose, but was just a little late on the throttle to make the move stick and overtake Goose. Jumping on board with Johan Nel as he watches this battle rage on in front. Heading to the top of the hill, Etienne Stradom makes a clean pass on the inside of Glenn Clark, but it seems like Glenn Clark wants to try and take the spot back, but gets the door shut on him. We head back to Johan Nel, and oh no, it seems like Neville Reed has lost it into turn 4, and this has given Goose the position. Neville Reed recovers from his spin, but he has lost too much ground on Goose and Minihold. Andre Darfel leads a gaggle of Lotuses into turn 5. Curtis van Billion goes down the inside of Andre Duplessis and moves ahead of him. Rob Mordaunt is now right in the wheel tracks of Duplessis as they head round turn 6. Over the start-finish line, and Minihold and Goose are side by side heading into turn 1. Minihold makes a daring move and gets ahead of Goose diving into turn 1. Up the hill to turn 5, and Willie Lochman is side by side with James Derbyshire. Lochman gets pushed out wide as Derbyshire dives on the inside, and Sean Hewitt is hot on their heels as he tries to follow Derbyshire past Lochman. Lochman doesn't give another place up so easily and stays ahead of Hewitt as they exit turn 6. Carl Sharp and Uwe Wieler have mixed wheels in turn 2, and both have spun round, but thankfully they can still continue their race, and Sharp makes his way back onto the track. Midas Historic is picking his way through the traffic as he chases down Glenton Rebello. Heading up to turn 5, and Timothy Clamp follows Historic through past Michael Houghton, who leads Johan Powell and Juan de Toy through the tabletop. Also making his way through the field is Neville Reed as he tries to make up some positions after a spin earlier on the race. Oh no, it seems like Glenton Rebello has a problem, and this means Midas Historic just gets him before the line, so Glenton Rebello has to be happy with second behind Midas Historic. So So third place goes to Jeff Gable, who is first of the Class Bs. Fourth is James Forbes. Fifth is Rob Gearing. And sixth goes to Etienne Stradom. We caught up with the drivers for their thoughts on the race.
Oh no, I just had a disappointing qualifying and then race went my way. Him and Sean were having a bit of a battle. Lost a bit of time through turn 4 and I just jumped on them all the way up the back straight. Under braking, took Sean. The next lap or two, took Willie. It was brilliant.
I tried very hard, but I had to defend my position with Sean Allen at the back of me. And that's where he actually cashed in and ran away from us.
First of all, I had my car cut out on the warm-up lap, stuck next to the road, and I thought it was a plug on the ECU. It turned out to be the major problem with the cutout switch of the car, the on-off switch. And I got the car going, and I couldn't believe that the grid actually waited for me, and a big, big thank you to Lotus Challenge for that one already. And then I got off pretty badly on the start line, but was making up ground. And as I was catching up with Glenn Rebello, the car cut out again, but I was wise enough to twiddle the switch. Fell behind, but I managed to just slip past Glenn, I think, on the finish line with a few meters to spare.
On to race 2, and the drivers are off. It's Glenton Rebello who takes the early lead, followed by Jeff Gable and Clippy's Kricher, with James Forbes and Rob Gearing hunting them down. As they head into turn 2, it seems Kricher is coming under a bit of pressure from Forbes and Gearing. We go on board now with Marcus Minihold as he feels the pressure from Anton Goose as Goose looks down the outside of Minihold. The two cars are so evenly matched as they race side by side, but it's Minihold that leaves Goose space to go by heading into turn 4, and Goose moves ahead. Johan Powell takes a look on the inside of Carl Sharp round turn 2, draws up alongside him but doesn't quite have the speed to make the move stick. On board of Michael Houghton, who is just ahead of the Sharp-Powell battle as he heads round turn 3 to Castrol Corner. And it's Carl Sharp who powers past Houghton on the outside and leads the gaggle into turn 4. As we head up the hill, Timothy Clamp makes a clean pass past Johan Powell and now sets his sights on catching Michael Houghton. Michael Houghton coming out of turn 3 and off towards turn 4, and he gets overtaken by Timothy Clamp. Coming through the field behind them, Glenton Rebello is starting to lap the slower cars and trying to put as much distance between himself and Clippy's Kricher. Oh no, it looks like Andre Darfel has spun round and Curtis van Biljon has collected him. It looks like the cars are fine though as they try to disentangle themselves. They get free from one another and head back onto the track. The marshals, meanwhile, have called for the safety car to come onto the track. This will give the drivers a chance to close up the gap on the cars in front of them, and the restart will make for an exciting end to the race.
We weren't stuck together too long. I went into corner 2 too hot. Curtis was on my tail, and then it all just went wrong.
Unfortunately, Andre was a bit hot. He spun in front of me. I sort of T-boned him, and then we locked wheels for a bit, but we came loose, and then the safety car was out by then. So, unfortunately, the end of the race for some of us, but the race carried on anyway.
The safety car goes in, and Glenton Rebello leads the field round to take the restart. Rebello is not going to be hanging around, though, as he knows Clippy's Kricher is nearby. Kricher tries his hardest to get around the slower cars, but he gets held up, and this gives Rebello a chance to increase his lead. Into turn 2, and Kricher has the inside line as he passes Carl Sharp. And on the exit, gets past Andreas Letnik. Rob Gearing tries to make it 3 cars wide as they head into turn 5, and this puts Powell on the dirt. And oh no, Carl Sharp has lost the back end of his car and now sits in the middle of the track. Here's a replay of the daring trio as they headed round turn 5, and you can just see how Powell slid wide. Rob Gearing is charging after James Forbes as they start their last lap of the race. Etienne Stradom is working hard to hold his position as he is getting chased down by Juan de Toy and Michael Houghton. Looking back from mini-hold, we see Glenn Clark attempt to move down the inside, but as the door firmly closed on him, and it looks like a near miss as well. Clark sits in mini-hold slipstream as they pass slower cars, but he's looking everywhere for a small gap to duck by. De Toy goes round the outside of Houghton as he tries to make up ground on Stradom. Fantastic racing by the Lotuses here as they head up the hill towards Sassol Corner. Neville Reid also tries his best to make up a few spots before they hit the checkered flag. Glenton Rebello goes through to take the checkered flag and victory in race 2. Rob Gearing has a near miss coming out of turn 8 with James Forbes, but it's Forbes that just gets him on the line. Fantastic close racing by the pair. Looking at the results then, and Glenton Rebello takes victory, followed by Clippy's Kriche in second, Jeff Gable third with James Forbes in fourth and Rob Gearing fifth. In the championship, Class A was wrapped up by Clippy's Kriche, Class B Jeff Gable, and Class L by Andre Duplessis. In Class C, Sean Allen leads Mordaunt and Rue heading into Kyalami.
It was a very nice race. My car started out in limp mode the first lap, so they all swarmed all over me, and then it was wild after that. I can't really remember much more than going sideways with Marcus for 2.5 laps. And the Goozer was behind us the whole time waiting for a problem.
And like he says now, we went through turn 5 sideways. I lost it. He managed to keep it together so he didn't die. And the restart was interesting.
I had a great start and I was right up behind these two, and I was just waiting for a mistake, but unfortunately only one mistake and I couldn't materialize on it, so good for them.
The safety car certainly made it interesting, let's just say. I mean, James and I were really bunched up behind, right at the back of the field. I think we must have been the last cars out there. And we probably had to pass 5 or 6 cars on the last lap, I'd say. I know James and I going up the top into turn 5, we were 3 of us side by side, and it certainly got very interesting. I think a credit to everyone that no one got any more damage than necessary, but really, really tight, close racing, awesome stuff.
Well, the truth is, if it wasn't for the safety car, I would have been nowhere near second place, because Rob had done a really nice take on me earlier. I was busy with Etienne, managed to get past Etienne, but without the safety car, I wasn't going to be anywhere near these guys.
For me, it was nice to be, the safety car caught the leader, and I knew if I stuck behind the leader when the safety car went in, then we had a clear run in front and before these guys caught up. And I managed it for almost to the end of up at the tabletop. And then these guys caught up, and I thought, well, it's all in turn 8. And then we kind of got through turn 8 and it was down to the line. So very exciting.
Quick question. Who holds the lap record around Zwartkops? Find out after the break.
Join us after the break for action from the historic saloons on the Midas Historic Tour.